start with the first topic, how Hazrat Usman got elected as a caliph. When we talk about Hazrat Usman's election as a caliph, it is directly related to Usman, Hazrat Umar's last days. When Hazrat Umar Razulullah anhu was in his last days, and he was injured and he was attacked by the
Assalamualaikum sir.
Walaikum salam. So Hazrat Umar Razulullah anhu, when he was in his serious injuries days, when he was injured, among the steps which he took was to nominate 6 people for the caliphate. So if you have read that one, you are familiar with the names of these people. You can see here the names are Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Usman. You can see here, you can see
सर
Hazrat.
मुझे आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही,
बिल्कुल भी नहीं आ रही.
अभी भी नहीं आ रही
शाहनवाज कंप्लीटली नहीं आ रही है. क्यों नहीं आ रही? एक सेकंड रुके, लेट मी चेक. बट आई
सर।
चेक.
मैं रीजॉइन करता हूँ।
रिज्वाइन कर लें, ठीक है, देखो. अच्छा, तो हजरत जुबैर, उसके बाद हमारे पास हजरत अब्दुर्रहमान है. और अब आ रही शाहनवाज?
सर बहुत थोड़ी आ रही है।
क्यों आहिस्ता आ रही है? मेरे पास तो ठीक है. आई एम नॉट श्योर. अब वो मैं एक दफा वैसे
सर लैपटॉप
अब्दुल
से ज्वाइन करता हूँ सर, मुझे
है,
5 मिनट देना।
स्पीकर की स्पीड बढ़ा के, वॉल्यूम बढ़ा के देखें,
ओके
चेक
सर।
करें. अच्छा, मैं 1 मिनट चेक करता हूँ, क्योंकि अब्दुल हन्नान, आप मुझे बताएं, आपको वॉल्यूम ठीक है, क्लियर आवाज? क्योंकि मैंने अभी इसी पे क्लास ली. हाँ ठीक है, आवाज से. आई थिंक आपका थोड़ा सा इशू होगा, शाहनवाज चेक कर लेंगे बाद में, ठीक है. एंड अगर बाय चांस, मैं कोशिश करूंगा वॉल्यूम मैक्सिमम रखूं इसमें, और अगर बाय चांस कोई चीज़ मिस आउट हो जाती है तो मैं आपको फिर इंशाल्लाह रिकॉर्डिंग भी फर्दर भेज दूंगा, तो आप क्रॉस चेक कर लेंगे उससे, ठीक है. अच्छा, ये नाम आपके पास ज़रूरी है. दे आर हज़रत अली, हज़रत उस्मान, हज़रत ज़ुबैर बिन अवाम एंड हज़रत अब्दुर्रहमान बिन औफ, हज़रत तलहा and Hazrat Saad bin Abi Waqqas. They are the 6 people whose names were nominated by Hazrat Umar in his last days. So first thing, you need to know the names of these 6 people and how these 6 people, their names got shortlisted, and it ended to 2 main names, that was Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ali. There is a brief detail here. When you will read this part, you will find out that few people's names were excluded because they were not present in Medina at the time when the election was going on. Okay, the election process was going on, and Hazrat Talha, especially, he was out of Medina. In some books it's mentioned Hazrat Zubair was also out of Medina. So 2 names are removed. So you are left with 4 names. Among the 4 names, Hazrat Abdurrahman bin Auf, he withdrew his name and he said, I don't want to become the caliph. So he also withdraw his name as well. And he said that I will help in like the process of election of the caliph. So we are left with 3 names, and gradually these 3 names ended up to last 2 names. They are Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ali. Now, Hazrat Abdurrahman bin Auf, who was working as an arbitrator, who was working as the person to help in processing of election of a caliph, what did he do? He raised a question, because his vote was the final vote which was left. So he forwarded a question from Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ali, and he said that whoever's answer I will like more, I will vote for that person. And of course, for someone for whom he will vote, automatically that person will be elected is directly, like he's going to be. Yes, what about what, like how, like Shahnawaz, better now? Ji Shahnawaz, better? I think you're muted now, Shahnawaz.
यस सर।
ठीक है, voice ठीक है, good. Okay, great. All right. Okay, we will move on to the topic. So there are the 6 names and how they got shortlisted, and finally 2 names are left, and the 2 names which are there are Usman and Ali. I was telling you that Abdul Rahman bin Auf has the final authority because his vote is going to be the deciding vote. What did he do? He raised a question from Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ali. If you want, you can write down the question wording as well here. The question was how he asked both of them how you are going to make judgment among the people. So Hazrat Usman, he said that I will use Quran and Sunnah and the like steps of pious personalities like Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar. Whatever they did, I will also follow their tradition as well. Hazrat Ali, on the other side, he said that I will follow Quran and Sunnah and I will make my judgment. So Hazrat Usman liked Hazrat Abdul Rahman liked Hazrat Usman's answer, and he voted in his favor. And when Hazrat Usman got the vote of Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf, he was elected as a caliph. So election of Hazrat Usman as a caliph is first thing which should be clear to you. This is the outline about it. I will show you when we will move further. You will find out a model answer for that, Cambridge never asked this question as a 10-mark question till now. And mostly the Cambridge ask it as a part of a 10-mark question. तो वो question जब आएगा, you will understand कि वो किस तरह से आएगा. Many students, they leave the question topic of conquest during the Caliphate of Hazrat Usman because it is not asked directly in exams. Like it is asked once, but it's not asked repeatedly, or like the details of each and every battle might be not easy and feasible for the students to prepare. What I will suggest you to go with three main topics. One is election, which we have done now. Then the second thing is services and administration. And the third thing is charges leading to his martyrdom. If you do these three topics perfectly, and then you want to do Hazrat Usman's topic, like you want to do something more in Usman's topic, then the last thing will be expansion during his caliphate. But imagine, don't leave the expansion completely. Either you will read this part of expansion during Hazrat Usman's caliphate, or if you want, you can have another possible answer for expansion during Hazrat Usman's caliphate here. Here you will find out during Hazrat Usman's caliphate, the Muslims not only continued the expansion policy of Hazrat Umar. Can anyone tell me, like, what were the main areas where Hazrat Umar, like the Muslims were fighting during the time of Hazrat Umar Razillahu Anhu? Do you remember the name of the main superpowers of that time with whom Hazrat Umar Razillahu Anhu and his people were fighting at that time? Yes. Abdul Hanan, you can even write it. Yes, Chanawaz, if you can tell. Yes.
Romans.
Romans, great. और Romans के लिए एक word use होता है, that is Byzantines, because Romans were the Byzantines were the eastern wing of Romans. So yes, and Abdul Hanan also added it. That's Persians. Yes, Byzantines, great. So the same areas. Hazrat Usman also continued the expansion policy. That's the reason why I was asking you. Hazrat Usman continued the expansion towards Persian. Hazrat Umar ki caliphate में Persians के against the last battle was Battle of Nehawan. Hazrat Usman continued from there, and during Hazrat Usman's caliphate, Muslims took over control of the whole of Iran. They reached Central Asian states, which is Azerbaijan, Armenia. You can see some of the names are written on the screen as well in the model answer and the highlighted parts there. So Muslims reached Central Asian states, and as per some of the books, Muslims reached Kabul and even part of the Balochistan border in Pakistan as well. So this is the achievement during Hazrat Usman's caliphate in the eastern side, which is Persian side. When we talk about Byzantine side, or we can talk about Roman side, you know, Hazrat Umar's caliphate, Muslims have reached already Egypt, which is on the northwest of the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. So Muslim has already captured Egypt. Now Muslims moved further towards west, and they took control of many North African countries. You can see their names here as well, which includes the last paragraph line here. If you see this part, you can see Morocco. Yes, there is a mistake here. It's North Africa, not North America. Okay, keep in mind. Don't count it as North America. It's North Africa, which includes Libya, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. They are the major cities where Muslims have reached there. So this is the expansion policy of Hazrat Umar Razillahu Anhu. That is not that much important. The main thing which is important, we are moving to that part. But again, I will say, don't leave expansion completely. Read this part a minimum to prepare for the exams. Okay. Our next topic for today, Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. आप दोनों ने mostly पढ़ा हुआ है, तो I know you are familiar with most of the information about Hazrat Usman's Caliphate here. So I will go with first quick outline, then I will not ask you to read it right now. You will do that one later. Just understand the concept behind the answer of the question. You can see the question which is here. This is the most repeated question about Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. And if someone misses or skips this question, and the student prepares the rest of the questions, वो इतना आपको helpful नहीं है अगर आपने ये miss किया हुआ है. So we will talk about this question, that is the Caliphate, the charges against Hazrat Usman. I will split this question into three parts. You can see there are two different questions, and of course the expectations of both questions are a little bit different. I will split the answer of this question in three big parts. You can understand the three big parts. What are they? First part is how the people in the time of Hazrat Usman dared to say something against Hazrat Usman. So in simple words, the reason why people had such a courage
Sir,
that they can speak about Hazrat Usman. Yes, Shanawaz.
sir, a Yemenite
Sir,
Jew.
yes. Chaya Abdul Hanan, आप बोलिए जी बोले.
Sir, a Yemenite Jew
Mm-hmm.
was not taken action against timely, and he
Mm.
created dissension and put charges against Hazrat Usman.
Excellent. This is one of the reason why the people during the time of Hazrat Usman dared to make charges against Hazrat Usman. Very good. I will tell you two more apart from that. So this is first part of the question कि how the people dared to do that. Second, charges. और फिर third हमारे पास जो आ जाता है siege of the house of Hazrat Usman leading to martyrdom. So starting with the first point, जिसका एक point जो है वो अब्दुल हनान ने already add कर दिया, like the role of a Yemenite Jew or a hypocrite or a munafiq. His name was Abdullah bin Sabah, and he started a movement based on the main thing is what is the main reason on which he started his movement. That was the concept of who is more eligible to become the leader, Banu Umayyah or Banu Hashim. Banu Umayyah and Banu Hashim had old enmity, and he took the advantage of that. And Hazrat Ali belonged from Banu Hashim, and Hazrat Usman belonged from Banu Umayyah. So he used these differences, and he made the people started thinking about Hazrat Usman's appointment as wrong, and Hazrat Ali deserved to be the caliph. This is the idea which was generated by Abdullah bin Sabah. But other than this, Hazrat Usman's own personality and nature is also one of the reasons why people were able to speak, or they were able, like they dared to say something against Hazrat Usman. तो अगर आप देखें यहाँ पे इस हजरत उस्मान की जो like out of 12 years, his first 6 years are successful, but the remaining 6 years he faced a number of challenges and the revolt was there. Among the reason was his gentle and soft nature. That is also a reason why people started uprisings against him. They started accusing Hazrat Usman as well. That is one thing. Second point which you will find here is Hazrat Usman sometimes overlooked the mistakes of the governor. That's another reason as well. So people started taking the advantage of that. They started becoming bold, and finally, it became problem for Hazrat Usman as well. And I will say one more thing. He used to forgive the people as well, though that is also an issue which Hazrat Usman faced challenges in it. And again, Abdullah bin Sabah, which is also known as, he launched a movement. The movement is known as Sabaite movement, and how he became stronger. Hazrat Usman did not take timely action for that. He ignored him or forgave him or oversee that person. That person became so strong that he started become a big threat for Hazrat Usman and the Muslim Ummah in future as well. What did he do? He started accusing Hazrat Usman with different charges. Among the charge which he made on Hazrat Usman was that Hazrat Usman has appointed inefficient relatives as governors in Basra, Kufa, Egypt, and Syria. So he has objection on 4 provinces of Hazrat Usman. Hazrat Usman answered him. You can see the answer of Hazrat Usman mentioned here. There is a detail for that answer as well, but our answer is already too big, so it will make the answer of more than 3 to 4 pages, and it's not possible to write it. So therefore, kept it briefer. If you have to write 3 charges only, for example, so we can develop it a little bit more. So this is first charge against Hazrat Usman, and Hazrat Usman justified it. Second charge against Hazrat Usman was he was too lenient and they didn't keep a check on his governors. Hazrat Usman even denied that charge, and he justified it by giving answer to that person. And he gave proof that I used to punish the people who were found guilty, and then he said that I have even dismissed few people who were found involved in crimes. But again, charges became stronger. That's the third charge against Hazrat Usman. That was, that one Hazrat Usman. Why do you think Hazrat Usman burned the copies of the Quran? Yes. Anyone?
To avoid confusion and to keep the Ummah united.
Okay, yeah, because of the dialect issue, you will develop that one if you want. That he intentionally, and that burning of Quran was not done for disrespect. Actually, it was done as a respect to bury up the ashes of it rather than throwing them here and there and to avoid confusion. Yes, you're right. Then another charge on Hazrat Usman was that he is misusing the state treasury, which is Baitul Mal, and Hazrat Usman even justified. He said, I am the one who used to give amount in the Baitul Mal, not the one who take it from there. And then fifth charge against Hazrat Usman was that he has demolished the original structure of Masjid al-Nabawi, and the people take it as negatively. Hazrat Usman justified it. I did it. So, and even there is a small mistake here. Of course, you have detected it. That is senior companions. So Hazrat Usman consulted the senior companions before taking that action, and the action was done based on good intention and a good niyyah, and that was to make the more space for the people who are converting to Islam. There was like more area was required there. I will suggest you to leave this whole reason here, this one till here. We can say till here. We don't need it. Actually, we have done 5 reasons, which are more than enough. I added 2, 3 extra. But if you want, you can skip them. There are like three more reasons in the last paragraph till here. So I will say, if you want to add one more reason, that is better to choose this one. He personally had, like, people said that he's using state treasury for his camels. Hazrat Usman denied, and he said that this one, if you want, you can add it. He said that that area which I have reserved near Jannatul Baqi is not for my personal camels. This is for the state camels, which is Baitul Mal camels. So he did not do it for him. And same goes for performing full prayer in Hajj season. If you want, you can talk about that point as well. So this is also fine. There is no issue in it. So this is the total what you're going to add in it as well. Okay. I hope till here it's done. This is charges. This is the second part of the question. First part was, what was the first part of the question? Hazrat Usman, why the people
Causes.
dare to, yes, why the people started accusing him. Then second part kya hua? That is charges against Hazrat Usman. Acha, agar the question is like this way, I will show you the question wording again. If the question is sticking to this part, this one only, then your answer is done, almost done. You have spoken about the causes of charges and the charges against him. That is done. The answer is fine. But if the question is asking you and the rebellion ship in Medina leading to his martyrdom, the answer is not done yet. We need to expand the answer more. And in this case, of course, you need to cut down the charges details. If you would like too much details, you won't be able to manage time for that. Up, the charges became stronger and stronger, and there are so many charges. The people noticed that the charges are so strong that they decided to force Hazrat Usman to resign. The rebels who were against Hazrat Usman, who were under the command of Abdullah bin Sabah, they were mainly belonging from 3 main provinces of Arabia at that time. That was Egypt, Basra, and Kufa. Actually, Egypt was the main center, and then Egypt, Basra, and Kufa. What did they do? They started coming in groups. There are thousand people coming in groups towards Medina, and they siege the city of Medina. You can see here. And Hazrat Ali Razilullah anhu, because they were taking the name of Hazrat Ali, that we are doing this for Hazrat Ali, and Hazrat Ali deserved to be the Caliph, and this and that. So Hazrat Ali Razilullah anhu tried to intervene and talk to these people. What's the demand? Because he did not want such type of situations for the Muslims. What did he do? He asked them to give one genuine solution for the problem. So these people said, the rebels said, we want to change the governor. The name is important again. If you will say they asked for the change of governor of Egypt, fine, but it's good to write the name. And they wanted him to be replaced by another person. His name is Muhammad bin Abu Bakr, the son of Hazrat Abu Bakr. So Hazrat Usman agreed on that. He said, okay, fine, done. And I will send a letter to that for that, and that person will be replaced or changed. But the problem became worse. Why? Because when these people left Medina after sieging the house of Hazrat Usman for a few days, when they returned back, they came back again. And what was the issue? They raised the voice and they raised the issue. They said that we have traced a letter from Hazrat Usman instructing to kill not only Muhammad bin Abu Bakr and his supporters as well when they will arrive in Egypt. Hazrat Usman denied that. He said that I have not sent such type of letters and all of these things, but the people did not accept Hazrat Usman's clarification and all of these things, and they decided to force Hazrat Usman to leave the post, to ask him to abdicate, or he will be disposed. Hazrat Usman convinced them, gave them speeches, told them the different things. People even asked Hazrat Usman, the Muslim army asked Hazrat Usman, if you want, we can fight with these people. But Hazrat Usman Like he did not allow that. He said, I don't want bloodshed for my personal reasons, and therefore the siege increased for more days. You can see here Usman refused all offers of military help and all of these things. He did not want bloodshed. So the siege lasted for around 50 days. अब ये जो 50 days हैं, अब उस वक्त हज season started. Muslims went for Hajj. All the people who are there, of course, you know this is happening in Medina, and Hajj is performed in Makkah. And of course, the people at that time, everyone wishes to participate in Hajj. So they went for Hajj. And during this time period, when the Hajj process was going on, the Hajj was over, and the rebels, they had a clue and they had a hint कि अब मुसलमान हज से वापस आ जाएंगे, so there might be more protection and security for Hazrat Usman. Right now, few people were securing Hazrat Usman. Hazrat Ali's son, Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Zubair's son, Hazrat Ali's sons, they were protecting Hazrat Usman's house. But the rebels knew if the Hajj will be over, people will be back, they will be attacked, and they will not be able to attack on Hazrat Usman. Therefore, they decided to hurry. First, they made some attempts which did not work, by the way. So what did they do? Then they attacked from on Hazrat Usman's house from the backside on the Jummah, Friday prayer time, when people were busy in Friday prayers. And Hazrat Usman and his wife, they were at home. And these people jumped in the house. They attacked on Hazrat Usman, and he got martyred. And from there onwards, this is a 4-mark question point somewhere, that it shattered the Muslims' unity, and the differences started between over the issue of Hashmites and Umayyads issue. To make your answer more perfect and stronger, when you are going to make a model answer for this question, this is going to give you a good answer. But imagine the question is asking you situation in Medina after the charges against Hazrat Usman till his martyrdom. Alag se question hai. They are not asking you the charges, and they are asking you only about the like the siege of the house first, then convincing, and then change of governor promise and all of these things. Agar ye 10 marks mein aa jaye, so you will be needing more details about Hazrat Usman's martyrdom. To get more details about Hazrat Usman's martyrdom, I am showing you one more place from where you will get the idea for that. So for this, I will suggest you to look at this one. Question is here. Unfortunately, I forgot to make the font bold here. This is the answer of the question, which is talking about martyrdom of Hazrat Usman. And they ask another part. We are not doing this part right now. I will discuss this separately. But the Cambridge combined two questions together: martyrdom of Hazrat Usman and election of Hazrat Ali. Cambridge did this with these two personalities till now. But I can say martyrdom of Hazrat Usman and martyrdom of Hazrat Umar and election of Hazrat Usman as the caliph. ऐसा भी question बन सकता है. So as this question is already asked, you can see there are two paragraphs. They both are related to martyrdom of Hazrat Usman. But you will find few details which were missing in my previous handout answer there. You can see this is a marking scheme, of course, so you don't write the candidates can say and all of these things. You will just see rebellion in Medina intensified. Rebels surrounded the house of the Caliph, I mean Hazrat Usman. Hazrat Ali, Talha, and Zubair sent their sons to guard Holy Hazrat Usman's house. We discussed about it. Now the rebels came to know that there is an army from Syria. Why there was an army coming from Syria towards Medina? And that army was in support of whom?
Was in support of Hazrat Usman, and it was Muawiyah's army.
And Muawiyah belonged from Banu Umayyah, and Banu Umayyah was Hazrat Usman also belonged from Banu Umayyah, right? So that is somewhere you can say the tribal support. So you can see now the rebels were thinking the things will be challenging for them, and before the things become difficult for them, they decided to attack. They've made first attack, which was bravely defended by Hazrat Hassan radiallahu anhu, Hazrat Ali's son. And then and also Muhammad, who was a son of Talha. So Muhammad bin Talha and Hassan bin Ali, they both protected. Then Marwan and his troops offered some resistance also. Marwan was the supporter of Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu, and Marwan was wounded. Now the rebels decided to change the idea, and they were led by Muhammad bin Abu Bakr. They reached the house of Hazrat Usman, and the Azan Jummah prayer was given. He was alone in his room with his wife Banaila, and Usman was busy in reciting Quran. And that the group came in and they attacked on Hazrat Usman, and they hit on his forehead. The drop of his blood fell on the verse of Quran as well. Some students write the translation of that verse as well. Quran says, "Subghatullahi wa man ahsanu minallahi." No, sorry. فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ اللَّهُ That's the verse which is there. Fasayakfikahumullah. Suffice is to you Allah, or like such type of translations there. If you want, you can add that translation as well. Then Hazrat Usman's wife tried to protect him, and she also got injured. She lost her fingers, and you can also mention this. And Hazrat Usman got martyred. This is the detail of martyrdom of Hazrat Usman, which could be added with the above question, which we have discussed recently. Also, the question which I was talking about, election of Hazrat Usman as a caliph, I showed you the outline in the beginning, but if you see this question, it has one part here which is about election of Hazrat Usman as a caliph. So you can see election details mentioned here in good detail, which is I think enough for you to understand here, right? Okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
सर मार्किंग स्कीम का जो आपने भी लिखा है उसमें लिखा हुआ था कि रिबेल्स वर लेड बाय मोहम्मद बिन अबू बकर.
Correct.
सर अब्दुल्ला बिन साबा नहीं था?
Abdullah bin Sabah was the one who launched the movement against Hazrat Usman. Like he created, the munafiqeen or the hypocrites. They don't come in the front line. What they do, they just sow the seed of confusion. They sow the seed of lack of trust among the Muslim community, or they just sow the seeds of division among the Muslims, and their task is done. Then they step back. So they just create confusions. Like if you remember, during the time of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there was a false accusation on Hazrat Aisha Raziallahu Anha. So Abdullah bin Ubay just said a statement regarding Hazrat Aisha's character, and people started talking on it. And the things became, like we can see, the talk of the town. Everyone was talking about it. And his task was over. And now people are like passing remarks and all of the same goes here. Abdullah bin Sabah created the issue. He made the confusion among Muslims and the leader Hazrat Usman. And here, even I will tell you one thing: Muhammad bin Abu Bakr, when he entered the house to attack on Hazrat Usman, even Hazrat Usman said to him, "If your father was alive, he must be on my side." So it is said that Muhammad bin Abu Bakr did not attack on Hazrat Usman and other people's attack on him because he realized to somewhere that he was guilty. But anyway, Abdullah bin Sabah is the one who launched it, and of course he might be backing up the whole movement, but the people who entered the house of Hazrat Usman were these people under the command of Muhammad bin Abu Bakr, right? अच्छा, अब आपके पास एक तो election वाला question आ गया. I told you this is also important. Election of Hazrat Usman as a caliph. You will find out in my handout, not only in the beginning, you will find it here, and also Hazrat Usman's administrative reforms are there. अच्छा, we discussed election of Hazrat Usman as a caliph. We discussed about charges leading to his martyrdom. They are the two very, very important questions. And the third important question is Hazrat Usman's administration. You can see the Cambridge question asked about Hazrat Usman's caliphate is election and administration in his caliphate. But I will not discuss the administrative points from here. I will take the administrative points of Hazrat Usman from the above question here, which is talking about Hazrat Usman's administration. Give me a minute. There is one question which is asking purely about this one. This question came alone as a 10-mark question on Hazrat Usman's administration. So you can choose the administration of Hazrat Usman from anywhere. By the way, he tried to continue the legacy or the tradition of Hazrat Umar Raziallahu Anhu, which that is the democratic system of government, like Majlis-e-Shura and Majlis-e-Am concept. He also supported that idea, which was actually initiated by Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr continued it, then Hazrat Umar continued it. Hazrat Umar made it more advancer and more better afterwards. So Hazrat Usman did the same thing. But he made some changes in Hazrat Umar's rule. Like I will tell you, a few changes are, like Hazrat Umar made restrictions. The army was not allowed to buy land in the conquered areas. But Hazrat Usman was lenient in it and he allowed them. Similarly, Hazrat Umar made restriction on army not to live outside the Kent areas, but Hazrat Usman allowed the army to stay with civilians. There are the two relaxations, but in long run, there are some challenges which resulted due to this one as well. General administrative policies of Hazrat Usman are, number one, you can see, increase the salary, the increment or the increase of the salary of the people became happy. So this is the good thing which he did. Also, he did one more thing. Normally, in the beginning, the concept was the government was ruling on the civilian areas and the army has its own rule there. but Hazrat Usman expanded the control of government over the army areas as well. Hazrat Usman was also again like he was strict in making accountability of the not only the representatives of the people but also the public places like markets and all of these things, and he wanted to make sure that things are going smoothly and there is no corruption going on at that time. And Hazrat Usman also made sure that people are getting proper salaries timely. He also made sure there is a surplus food or things like are there as a backups in times of difficulty and challenges as well. Hazrat Usman also increased the army role in the like here that he doubled the army commanders there, gave them more things, and then you can also see he introduced some new posts like financial administrator, and his duty was to look over the tax and the revenue and the sources of the government income as well. Again, I told you in the markets, he used to make sure that the things are sold at the proper prices. कोई गड़बड़ नहीं हो, blackmailing नहीं है, or people are not hoarding the things there. He used to make sure about this one. He did number of public work, which is social works actually. You can see here, starting with embankments constructed to protect the house from the current word flash floods, or maybe you can say cloud burst or something. So the periodic floods were there, so he constructed the walls. Extension and provision of clean water, that is also a good point which he did was there. And then he made purpose built markets, and the revenue, the rent of the markets were invested on the poor people, which is a good way of saving the benefiting the society. Then he constructed state stables, and he also constructed guest houses for the travelers, the messengers, and the poor pilgrims. And he also expanded the Masjid al-Nabawi and also port of Jeddah, which is also the point. The first port of Muslim Empire was built during the Usman's Caliphate at the port. And I will say Hazrat Usman also initiated for the first time the navy for the Muslim. The naval fleet of the Muslim army was launched during Hazrat Usman's Caliphate as well. All right, यहाँ तक ये सारा हजरत उस्मान की administration है. If you want, you can add more points there. Like you can mention how many provinces were there. You can mention the role of. You can take some ideas from Hazrat Umar's Caliphate which are similar to it. And this is a 10-mark question. If you write more, it will be more beneficial. However, this information is also enough. You will find more points about Hazrat Usman's administration in my this answer. You will see some new points in it as well. One thing which is left in Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. Usman's Caliphate, this is total of Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. One thing which is left in Hazrat Usman's Caliphate is expansion policy of Hazrat Usman. Many students used to ask that, sir, what should we do? Should we memorize? I had some students who memorize a big detailed 10-mark question for Hazrat Usman because it came once. If you want to do that, for this, I will suggest you to go to my handout. This is here I'm showing you page 25 because the page numbers are not marked here. So you will see in this 3 topics in it. This is a Cambridge old question on events which took place during Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. It includes expansion, it includes administration, and it includes charges leading to martyrdom. If you really want to do a 10-mark question on Hazrat Usman's expansion, that is the answer here. ये आंसर आपका यहाँ से यहाँ तक, this is one paragraph, and when you move on further you will find another paragraph on it. Once again, this one, ये going on. Yeah, it's almost here, and then we have third paragraph on it which is also on administration. Why this is splitted, like why there are so many details in it? It talks about different commanders assigned at different areas and the major areas taken over by the Muslims from the Persian side. The first paragraph is purely Persian side. Okay. The second paragraph is mainly Roman side. And the third paragraph is continuation of Roman side. So this is how Hazrat Usman's time period, the expansion was there. You can see the name of the commanders. You can see the things going on. And if you think it is difficult, for example, leave it and keep it as a last question to be done. And if you want a briefer answer for expansion during Hazrat Usman's Caliphate, then go to the first page of my handout on Hazrat Usman. This is first page of Hazrat Usman's topic. यहाँ पे आपको 3 paragraphs मिल जाएंगे, which is enough. That's done. And you don't have to worry for any other detailed answer there. So what are the topics which we have covered today in Hazrat Usman's Caliphate in detail? That includes election as the caliph, And the second thing which we have done was charges leading to his martyrdom. And the third thing which we have done was administration plus services. Services may you will add one thing which I missed it by mistake. That is, I will say, Quran ki uniting the Muslims on one standard way of recitation. So this is what I have missed here. So you should be keeping in mind that that has to be added in it. Okay. Or lastly, we have talked about Hazrat Usman's expansion policy, and we discussed about expansion during Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. I hope you are clear till here. Before I wind up this topic and I move to the second topic, I will show you few 4 mark questions which are asked related to Hazrat Usman's Caliphate, especially the lessons which we learned from the martyrdom of Hazrat Usman. Not to take the revenge of the personal reasons, you like to try to avoid bloodshed, try to avoid civil war among the Muslims. So this is what Hazrat Usman stepped on. Then to find out the peaceful solution. Maybe some students will say the lesson is that sometimes leniency and forgiving the people is not the right way. The person should be strict in some rules, and timely action has to be taken. So you can take the idea to develop your answer, though they are mentioned here, but you will think about answers in this way. Okay. And then we have, in your opinion, what was the most serious consequence? Okay, what do you think is the most serious consequence of Hazrat Usman's assassination, by the way? Yes.
Division of the Muslim Empire.
Great. Correct. And I will say division of Muslim Empire and the challenges faced by Hazrat Ali. Will talk about that one as well. All the upcoming leaders face struggle due to that one. अच्छा, यहाँ पे एक question था. I think it's there in Hazrat Ali's Caliphate. I shifted there. Cambridge once gave a 10-mark question. Give an account of consequences of Hazrat Usman's murder. So you don't have to speak about Hazrat Usman's Caliphate. Your answer is Hazrat Ali's Caliphate, by the way. So if the question is asking you give an account of consequences of Hazrat Usman's murder, so that is going to be purely Hazrat Ali's Caliphate. And I already discussed with you one question which was asked once in exams. Of course, that detail is not required if it's again asked by chance. So you will make one paragraph on expansion, one paragraph on administration, one paragraph on charges, one paragraph of events leading to his martyrdom. That's an old question. This is the expansion question. Okay, if you want to do the expansion question, again, you can take the idea from here. I will tell you the first 3 paragraphs are talking about Hazrat Usman's administration. This is Hazrat Usman's administration going on till here. This is all about Hazrat Usman's administration. Up yahan se, I did numbering on it. I made things easier for the student, and that is going to be more easy. So if you want to do expansion, I forgot that one because I found this one the easiest way. It's a marking scheme provided by the Cambridge, but it will give you an idea like how the battle went on and how the Muslim Navy started expanding its area to the other side. So this is total answer for the Hazrat Usman's topic. And if there is any confusion or there is anything not clear, you can ask for that in upcoming classes as well, or separately you can ask for that as well. Okay.